Alrighty, welcome to episode 1 of Barrel Talks. I'm here with Kam, otherwise known as Kam Iqar Ze. How you doing, mate?
Good, man. Yourself?
Good, thanks for coming on. Alright, this is Barrel Talks, all things GELBALL. Which I know is a bit of a funny title. What's your take on the old GELBALL, GelSoft situation?
Oh, look, I don't know. It was just it was just GELBALL, and then someone was like, "Oh, like let's call it GelSoft."
Yeah.
So like GelSoft is relatively newer than GELBALL.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't really care. I'm either or. I don't give a fuck. I'm over caring. So
It's weird coming from, I call it GelSoft.
Yep.
But I get corrected all the time. The only reason I call it GelSoft is because coming from an airsoft background.
Yeah, and I think that's where it comes from. And like some people are like, "Oh, GelSoft is bad because it then puts it in the same category as airsoft," and I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You know, like doesn't what we call it? I don't think has a bearing on the laws around airsoft. So
No.
I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for coming on. This is episode 1. This is the very first episode. So the whole premise of this talk show that I want to do, Barrel Talks, is more of a player-to-player base, very casual talk show. I don't want to get into the politics of GelSoft. I don't want to talk about the regulations that are coming through.
Excellent.
I don't even so much want to talk about RapidVantage as a field itself. What this is about hearing from players, hearing about people in the community, and just having a good old chat about, what's going on. And the reason I wanted to chat to you is about the fact that you are a content creator for GelSoft, GELBALL, in the industry itself. And I want to talk about how did you make the decision to get into that, to create your content, and why you create your content.
Okay, so I was reffing at Donnybrook for quite a while, and it got to a point where I was never playing. I was always reffing, and so I just, when you just have like you kind of burn out on stuff. So I was like burning out on some of the customers and stuff that we were having, like, and you'd be on the speedball field playing speedball, and someone would yell out "contact left," and you'd just be like, "No shit." Like, pretty sure that's useless information by now, man. Pretty sure they know that there's contact. It's okay. You don't have to yell that out. And so I just kind of started to do it as a venting thing, like, because like we were seeing like hundreds of people a weekend, and you just see like all of this. You'd see all this stuff happen, and it's so comical. Like, it has to be documented somewhere. So like, I just started doing short videos. Like, the first video I actually did, I called it Contact Left, and it's like a 30-second clip. It actually came up in my memories on Facebook the other day, and it was like a 30-second clip, and it's just like some dude like, "Oh yeah, I bet you they're wondering like what unit I was in." You know, there's like a whole bunch of dudes that were like army there, and they're just like, "Oh no." Yeah,
It's funny, this sport and airsoft, it's not just GelSoft, even probably paintball, does attract that certain type of player. But what I love about your content, from what I've seen, not only just the reviews and I would say your political voice in the community, but some of the videos where it is a bit of a piss take, it's a piss take, yes. It's funny, yes, but it's not harsh on these players. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily a full-on dig at these players telling them to get out. It's just kind of
no. It's just it's a lighthearted dig, and like, and the idea behind that was I was meant to go on and do a whole bunch of different other characters, and I just never found the time. So like, I'm still waiting to do the Speedsoft one. Like, Speedsoft, you better look out. I'm coming at you. Like, I always have this running joke that they're like the cyclists of the GELBALL community.
Yeah.
I don't know how they feel about that, but so the idea was to have different characters based around stuff, but because I was out and it's an outdoor field, it's mostly bush. That's mostly what we dealt with. We didn't deal with a lot of speed softers and stuff. So most of it was the Mr. Operator guys, but like, it was just a lighthearted dig because most of them actually loved it, and it was just it's just funny. It had to be done.
Yeah, your next one should be on refs.
Oh god,
that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, guys that have just had enough. Like,
and the guys that are really keen into it as well. The new refs.
Yeah. You're like, you'll learn.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is your I guess I call it your political voice.
Okay.
You are quite a big character within the GELBALL community. I know a lot of people know you and a lot of people respect you and a lot of people respect your honesty and your voice. How do you choose to use that voice? Do you use it? Are you aligned with anyone or you just use it for the better of the community? How?
I'm not necessarily aligned with anyone. It's funny though because the rumors get around. So I heard a rumor the other week that I own this place.
I think I heard the same one.
And I was like,
yeah.
I should correct it, but rumors are funny. Let it go.
But that's a step up because the last rumor I heard that you were working here. Yeah. Congratulations,
yeah,
mate.
man. I've gone from cleaning the toilets and now pay these guys.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people. So I originally, when I first started, I was using it. So it was just, it was the thing that I brought up I in that review that I did recently is that like the warranty policies around gel blasters are bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially with the money that we're starting to spend. Like it's different when we were spending like $300 max. Like that was like, oh man, who's going to spend $300 on a blaster?
Yeah.
And that was a little bit different then because it was all cheap Chinese stuff that you would, a fly would fart on it and it would crack. That stuff was a bit different. But now that we're looking at like the full metal builds and stuff, so I kind of just, it's more like I care more about the player than I do about other things, which is like, and so like, I guess when I first got into it, I was just kind of like, I'm just going to call out people who do the wrong thing and like shitty return policies and all that kind of stuff. And it went a bit far. I had to learn the boundaries between having a say and full on like attacking people. Yeah.
It's a fine line that walks too.
It's a very fine line. And it's funny because I was getting like death threats in my inbox and stuff like that.
Wow.
But it actually wasn't from the people who, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't from the people that I was actually calling out. It was like all of their like plastic gangster, not that all of their customers are plastic gangsters. That's not what I'm saying, but a couple of plastic gangster customers are there. And I was just like, whatever, man. But so it got a little bit crazy for a bit, and then I started to sort of learn the difference between calling out shitty behaviour, calling out someone's behaviour and calling out who they are as a person. Yeah. So attacking the behaviour rather than attacking the person, I think, is probably a lot more constructive than attacking the person because it just becomes a shit fight. And
100%.
Yeah. It just became really, really unhealthy for a while.
Yeah. Have you found that in doing that and being that prevalent in the community has had an impact on you as a player or where you go? Are you enjoying the time that you get to play now? Were you finding it that now that you've kind of been released from reffing, people are like, hey, Cam, come do this. Like, oh, I want to do this with you. And I want to
I did get that a lot. at the start, which is cool. It's kind of chilled down a little bit, which is good as well because there's only so much I can do in 1 week. So when I first started like kicking around, it was like everywhere. And now it's kind of like it's chilled off a little bit. But I am actually really enjoying the times that I get to play now. Yeah. Especially like I remember when it got to a point where I was reffing so much of this stuff that I started to actually hate the sport. I really started to resent the sport, and I was like, you know what, I hate this. This is not what I want to do anymore. And then I played a private game for a customer's 50th birthday party. And it was a small private group, maybe 20, 30 of us. Yeah. And it was like the best game. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like I fell back in love with the game. I started playing a lot more often. And I found that if I'm selective about what, when and where I play, and I don't just do nothing but play, because you see all the angry guys on the field, they're like, call your head. And they're the guys that are there every week. And it's like, when I don't play every week and there's like some dude cheating on the field, I'm like, I don't care. I'll just shoot him in the face next time I see him. But if I'm on the field every week, I'm like, this guy again, I'll get him. And it's just like, if you're not having fun anymore, is it really a game?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I guess I have more fun now. I have more fun now.
That's good. Yeah. And have you found that enjoyment of the sport is starting to leak out into your creativity as a content creator for the sport? Are you putting a little bit more enthusiasm into the videos and things that you're doing, or?
I think I am. I'm putting a lot more effort into it, and also at the same time, it offers me a creative outlet that's not just around GELBALL stuff.
Yep.
So I used to be a musician, but I've like my structural injuries have just completely fucked my body.
Yeah.
And so like my fingers don't. I used to play a lot of guitar. My fingers don't work the way that they used to. So this is kind of a creative outlet for me that involves gel ball, but it's not just gel ball. I'm playing around with different camera angles, different lighting, all that sort of stuff, and so I can get creative around it, and it feels like it's not just the same old, same old. So it's kind of like a hobby within the hobby, but not. It's weird. So it gives me a creative outlet, which is really cool. And I guess let's move that away from there. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Because I look at my first videos and it's me sitting at my desk in my old house with like a torch, like a mag light sitting on the desk pointing at the roof. That was my lighting. So it's come
up
along
to now with the new desk. I saw the new desk.
I got the new desk. I got the fucking lighting. I just got my slide working. Oh man, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, love it.
Mechanical slide, motorized.
I wish it was motorized, man. I was like, mad, but I bought it and I couldn't use it. Didn't have a thread adapter with it.
Yeah, right.
I had to wait for a thread adapter. Thank you, COVID. Had to wait 3 months and 2 days.
Holy moly!
6 hours and 42 minutes and 18 seconds.
You should have come to me. I've got to see that Ari bag.
I should have just asked. God damn it. This is what happens when you don't ask. I've had that thing for months. I've only just started using it.
Yeah, I've got a bunch in there.
Damn, dude.
From the old film days. Is there something else that we can look forward to with Kam and his content creation? Are there other avenues that you want to go into? Do you want to get into the gameplay videos, the hardcore gameplay videos where you run the head cam, the gun cam, and you do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'd love to get into that stuff. I would love to get into that stuff. I really would. Also, just like promoting teams, other players, and all that kind of stuff. Like you said earlier, like using the political voice, I'm on the lookout for like retailers who have a better than 30-day warranty policy, like that kind of thing. So I can so I can sort of get behind them, and so just kind of what can I do to help the sport?
That's good.
Along? Is what I'm doing constructive to the conversation, or is it destructive? Am I making a total prick of myself, or am I doing something that's actually going to help everything sort of move forward? And I think that's kind of the motivation behind what I'm doing at the moment, which is why, not that I'm moving away from the piss takes. It's just that I've run out of stuff to piss take about. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can pick on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time to move on. So
I think you're definitely heading in the right direction for helping the community, especially in all of the bits that you have done for us in our opening. Just coming and using the space. It's really good to see content creators like yourself coming in here. Would you ever get into the teching and building videos as well? Like, I know you had your blast which you built, or you kind of.
I would do. I don't know how much I can say about it. Not that I signed an NDA or anything, but I have had somebody approach me about doing some production around teching and stuff like that. I don't do it myself anymore, just because I get like half an hour and my hands go like this. It comes like T-Rex hands. So, I'd do production around that stuff. Just to like have a look at different aspects of it, because there's certain people that just like to mod. They don't even like to play. They just like to build blasters,
which is wicked. Which is totally fine. There's people that build the RC cars. There's the people that race them.
Exactly. So do whatever makes you happy. Like this. At the end of the day, this is a hobby, and if you're doing something, whether it's building blasters or just collecting them, if that makes you happy, do it.
Yeah. Interesting point you put up there on the collecting blasters, because I know a few people that don't even play that just collect the blasters because they are firearms enthusiasts.
Yes.
Which is only, I know it sounds funny, but it's only something that I've recently kind of acknowledged, that there is that side to this sport as well. Which is the other thing that I love about your reviews as well. Because you give the information at the start. I know there was a couple of reviews that I've watched you, especially on the grenade launcher, all that, where you actually give the information on the real weapon itself. You go and I would assume that you're a firearms enthusiast as well, or
a little bit,
a
little bit, yeah.
Which is cool. Which I think is also it's very good knowledge for people to have on how a real firearm works. I have it explaining explain to them and how the real thing works, because it brings a whole nother weight to the way that they will handle that blaster and the knowledge they have behind treating that blaster as well. So that's one thing I really enjoy about your.
I love getting into the history of that stuff. Like, it's weird because everyone's like, "Oh, stop comparing them to real firearms," and I'm like, "Well, they're modelled after real firearms. Like, they always have been replicas. It just hasn't been stated specifically in legislation that they're replicas, but they've always been treated as replicas."
Yeah.
And so everyone's kind of like, "Oh no, you're pushing the firearms things too much," and I'm like, "It has Colt M4 like stamped into the side of it, dude.
Yeah,
like that's the Colt symbol right there, you know." So. It's kind of a double-edged sword because some people love it, some people think it's dangerous. Honestly, I don't know what the political aspect is on that. I know that the anti-gunner community is just as big as we are. And then I know that policymakers and I know that QPS have to deal with those guys as well. So it's not just us. Like, which is why I often like just. Trash. Which is why I often talk about like just fucking learn to navigate. Yeah, and realize that we're not the only people involved.
Yeah.
It's not just us that's involved in this conversation. And it's like, well, let's work with these people. What can we do to make them feel safer?
That's it.
You know what I mean? What can we do to, you know, what if we start taking the markings off, start taking Colt M4 off and have 7 to 8 mil gel blaster written on the side of it. Yeah, it still kind of looks like a real firearm. It's got different markings, you know. Is that a good compromise? Are you guys happy with that? Because I think I've found in life, the more that I'm willing to compromise and work with people,
100%,
the more amenable they are to that.
100%. I totally agree with that. And I think from my side, why I like you putting that information in your videos is because I'm a huge Milsim fan as well. And one of my passions where people collect blasters, I collect loadouts. Yeah. Which is funny. I have an Emerson shop, which is the reason I bought Emerson in. So I like to build the loadouts. Yep. But having the knowledge of which blaster is from where, when it was used, who it was used by, it just makes it more fun for me when I'm building the loadout because I get to have that experience with the blaster and go, sweet, well, this wouldn't have been on that loadout. This wouldn't have been there, you know? So I think from that aspect, having the information in definitely helps. Yeah, that's my bit. But I think we'll turn now. I've got a little video up here for us to watch, which is the Mr. Operator. Now, I do want to get into Mr. Operator because I genuinely think he's a hilarious character, but I want to know a little bit about where he came from.
Okay, so he is just... So, like, it's so weird because everyone's like, that's me, isn't it? That's me, isn't it? That's me, isn't it? I'm like, well, no, it's kind of all of you guys. Like, he's just like a character built on, like, over-exaggerated stereotypes. Like, he didn't come out to just kind of attack people and be like, you're a shit, you know, fucking... You know, it was just... The little things that you'd hear people say, and you're just like, did you seriously just say that, man? And like, and I've done it myself. I've said some really dumb shit in life. Like, I'm not immune to that. But just some of the things that you overhear people saying, you just think, oh my god. Like, actually, Dally Dog gave me the best one, and I still haven't done it. So it's Mr. Operator, the second version, because the first version was full of swearing. Yeah. And my viewership has grown outside of my the original core group of people that were watching my stuff. So I've sort of cut out the swearing and I've cleaned it up a little bit because there's kids in the community. I can't be saying can't be dropping C-bombs everywhere and like I was when I first started. And but Dally Dog gave me this one. He's like, this dude's turned around to his kid and he's like, it's not a game, it's a simulation. And I was just like, oh man, that is definitely that like that kind of stuff. He's like, that's definitely going in there, man. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
I could tell you, I could give you a couple from what we experience here in the CQB environment.
I can imagine.
Which I'd love to see Mr. Robert about. Let's watch a little bit, see if we can get this working here. Love the logo too, by the way. Cool. We'll probably put this up on the middle of the screen somewhere here, just so people. And if you haven't, we'll put the link in the video to Mr. Operator. Definitely go and check him out. And again, it's just a lighthearted piss take video. So, you know, if you think it's you, it's probably not you, right?
Bend over and grab your ankles. This one's gonna hurt.
I love what you're wearing. Is there a reason why you're wearing all of that stuff?
Just a lot of dudes wearing like superfluous gear, like all the glow sticks and like the excess pouches and like 6,000 radios. The slouch hat
The
comment.
slouch hat.
We get that all.
Yeah.
Like, you used to get that all the time. The slouch hat comments. Like, are you serious, man?
I love the canted holographic
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
10-4 rubber ducky. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
10-4 rubber ducky. Actually, that is something like that. I've never been in the army or the military. My only use of radios has been on film sets, and it's something that's very intimidating for me. Because I don't want to be that guy. You know, Alpha Bravo. This is Charlie. Like, because I don't know how it works, but I see so many people, even in here, that are doing that, and it's just really funny to watch.
It is funny to watch. But like I said before, with like the building, like if that's what makes you happy, like if that's why you do
100%.
this, and you get your immersion while getting exercise, do it, man. If it makes you happy, that's what you do, you know. Even if guys like me hang a little bit of shit on you, like
keep doing it. I think that's the one thing. At least you're sticking to what you're doing and enjoying the sport for. The other thing I love about this is the
the over
is the tactical reloads.
That was a mag. That was a pistol mag,
wasn't it? I love as this you've got gels, but and the drawers and all that kind of stuff. I think one thing I definitely say to new players that come on the field, that when I get on the field with them, I try as much as I can. If there's a player for the first time, I'll get onto the field. Is look. Getting into the tactical reloads, getting into the proper way to hold and present a firearm is really good, but it's the last thing I'd worry about if you're getting into the sport. Get in and just have a go, have fun with it. The tactical stuff will come, but that's the one thing I see is like new players coming into the sport who genuinely get a little bit intimidated, I think, by the players fully kitted up, and then they try to get into this zone of having to be tactical. And it's like, exactly.
Indexing and
it's good, but that's the last thing I'd be worried about as a new player.
What's what I always say to new players, like just get out there and do it.
Absolutely.
Like I've seen, I did a beginner's tip video. It was actually test footage for my Dotted Line series in my new studio. And I thought, well, may as well use it for something. So I did like a beginner's advice video, and one of them, and the biggest piece of advice was, don't worry about the money that you spend on the sport, worry about the time that you spend doing it. So and I was talking about like all that stuff, like taking corners and stuff. You can practice that at home. You can get all that. You can get all the information off YouTube on airsoft players and how they do things. And I did that a lot too. Playing paintball, I actually watched a lot of like actual firearms instructional videos and like shooting on the move and stuff like that, and how to lay down, how to move under your own fire and stuff like that. And I actually found that stuff really helpful. But if you I've seen kids get out on the field and have no idea what they're doing. Like, oh yeah, we play Fortnite. I'm like, I've never played Fortnite. I don't know what you're talking about. And watched like the kid that I mentioned in the video. I mentioned it because he's a wicked player now, man. And he came in and it only took him a couple of months, and he was like, "Yeah, I just got a 6 knife kill streak on the field." I'm like, "How the fuck did you do that?" Like, well done, dude. Yeah. So, and he's not wearing cams. He's not wearing like vests. He's just kicking around. He's got a bucket hat, a singlet, pair of shorts, and some runners. He's got a belt hanging off him with a speed loader. That's it.
Good on him.
Like
I see it all the time with rentals coming in here. Like,
I love it I love it when the rentals dominate the pros. I love that shit.
But I think I love Mr. Operator because he is kind of like, he does represent. Like, yes, you've got the piss take, but he does represent those players that, if they want to wear this stuff that makes them happy and gets them more into the sport, they do it.
So I think that there's a point where if it's starting to get in the way of the gameplay, maybe you need to look at,
definitely
focus more on the gameplay than what you're wearing. And so the vest that I'm wearing in this is actually mine. That was from my first loadout when I started playing. I had it so that I had a radio antenna weaved around on the back plate,
Yeah.
I had my radio on the front, and I had my magazines. I had some extra stuff for the field that I needed. Like if something broke, I had a roll of tape hanging off it.
Yeah.
So I had that. I did have a lot of stuff kind of hanging off me, like mags and stuff like that. But I kind of really overdid it on the superfluous gear.
I love the patches on the helmet, but I think
that was Rob's idea, actually.
It's so good. I think the one thing that, vests inside, being myself as a CQB player, I'm like two sides of this fence because I wear a vest every single time I play.
Yep.
I've got plates in my vest every single time, and I can feel getting hit in this environment. I can feel it. Yep. Like, so the argument of, players not calling their hits because they don't feel them because they're wearing a vest, maybe they're just not calling their hits because I'm trying to get around. Like, I've worn the heaviest vest I can in this field, and I still feel them. But I think the comment that you said about if it's starting to affect the game, maybe look at trying a different loadout. Myself, I love running a full loadout. Okay, like I love the vest, I love the mag, like having the pouches, having everything there, because I like that simulation style. But I've seen you on the field, and you're in a long sleeve shirt, gloves, Face Pro, Eye Pro, and just a blaster. And you've got your two clips or your one mag clip there. You just preferred rolling with that, or
so when I first started out, I did have the vest. So when I first started out, so wet work used to actually be a squad. So we were like a crew of guys that came together, and it was funny because we used to call them Big Macs because they always look good on camera, but they're shit in real life. And it was actually a group of Mr. Operator guys, and I kind of hope that these guys see this and don't take this to heart. But yeah, so we actually formed a squad. This is back when there was only like 2 fields available to us. And so we formed a squad specifically, and you'd see those guys. They'd be doing real firearms, real firefight tactics, and the stuff that doesn't translate as well as the stuff that does. So some of it does translate, there's no doubt about that, but a lot of it does not translate from a real firefight. Not that I've been in a real firefight, but I can tell you that from learning tactics from people who actually, train for firefights and then trying it, I know that it doesn't translate. So watching these guys, like in an outdoor environment when there's the target's 50 meters away and you're all stacking up on a corner and you're like, doing all of the fucking useless stuff that they were doing. So we started calling them Big Macs because they look real good on camera. Like, and that's what they were there for the selfies and stuff. So like that was, we were kind of taking the piss out of those guys and stuff, but we went out there just to like basically grab a bunch of noobs and just kind of like bring them under our wing and be like, okay, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do. So we'd split off and form little fire teams and head out.
Nice.
And we actually had a lot of fun with it.
Because
Nuketown is a fantastic layout. Like the layout down there, I don't know, have you ever played
I've never played Nuketown.
So it's a little village and it's got like 3 roads. This is last time I played it was like 2 years ago, I think. But there's a village and there's 3 roads that run down the center of the village. I don't know if they've expanded it beyond that. There was a little kill house down the hill last I played there, I think. And so it allows you to spread out with the radios and really easily coordinate either an offense or a defense. It's a very simple layout. It's very easy to do. You just kind of have to learn your way through the buildings and stuff. I got my first knife kill down there. So it's just a fantastic squad layout. Fantastic squad layout. And like the amount of fun that we were having down there was just out of this world. And I think over time I dropped that vest and I went to a lighter vest. Just because it was just the next vest I went to was a little bit better quality. Not quite Emerson quality, but it was better quality than that one. That's like a $30 eBay job. That one. It's like a Wish vest. But yeah. I went to a different vest because I was slotting in UMP mags. And then after a while, I just dropped the vest altogether. And I think that part of the reason that I dropped the vest altogether was that I was reffing a lot of games where guys were getting hit at far distances. And they were getting hit and not noticing it. Because like you barely feel it glancing off you as it is if it hits skin at that distance. So I just decided, I don't want to run the risk of perhaps being that guy, especially at the point where people, I don't know why, but people think that because you're reffing a game that you must be like the best player out there. Like, you must be so good that they don't even let you play. Like, no. I choose to do this. This is
It's 100% not true. I get that all the time here. Even when I come down fully kitted and get on the field, just to run with new players,
Yep.
the comments that come from some of the players, like, whoa, big dog, like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm honestly no better at this than anyone out there,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Like, but the stigma
Yep.
of being, oh, you're reffing, you must be, you know,
Yeah.
super good. Like, yeah, I'm above average, I'll say.
Yeah.
But there are players that are way better than me
Yep.
that aren't doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, when you ref a lot, you don't get practice.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
spend all your time watching people. You learn a lot about like the mechanics of the game, and you learn a lot about squad and team tactics by watching the game. But you don't necessarily get the practice in. So like you don't have the reaction time that these players have.
Exactly.
Like, so I'd find that I'd go out for a game, dudes would kill me, and it'd just be like they'd wear it like a badge of honor. I'm like, have it, dude. You know, like,
Yeah, like good on you.
yeah,
like,
nice, man, nice. You know, it's like, okay, cool. You know, you killed a par player. You know, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Let him. You know, if that's what makes him happy, fuck, be happy. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so it's nice now being able to get in games though. It's
Yeah.
really nice. And that's, you know, I didn't play for a long time, and that was by choice. And then like because I was just spent so long on my feet, and my whole body was just like, I can't do this anymore. And it just got to a point where I was just like, I'm done. And so resting up and then spending a day on the field and then resting up for another 3 weeks before my next game.
Yeah.
And then I'm ready. You know what I mean? So,
Honestly, I'm going to give a huge shout out here as well to Urban GELBALL up at Forest Glen. Listeners, guys, if you haven't played up there, head out. I'm sure a lot of people know that RapidVantage and Urban GELBALL, you know, we try and collaborate as much as we can, but by far the best game I've had this year was heading out to your mate's birthday at Forest Glen and playing with you guys. That was that to me, I was like, I left it going, yeah, that's why I play GELBALL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I left that session because, you know, Ryan and I went up. Ryan from Summit Tactical went up. You know, I think I had my whole police loadout and stuff on.
Yeah, you guys were rocking like full you guys were like trying out the Emerson gear and the belts. And
yeah. You know, and then these guys had their team stuff. But that was such a good spirited game as well. Yeah. And it's funny, like, it's funny trying to find the formula of what makes a good game. You know, and like a lot of people think, it's going out playing with your mates and all that kind of stuff. But I think the only 3 people I actually knew at the night was you, Rob, and your missus.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah,
I keep going, like, you know, when we were doing the shoot downstairs.
Oh, yeah,
I was going like Alina or whatever.
Yeah. It starts with an E. I know it.
Yeah. And Aaron, and then suddenly we're playing with people that I don't know, and it was just a really good time.
I think it's the atmosphere and the attitude.
Yeah.
Like if you set a really good atmosphere and everyone's like in a really good mood and everyone's like kind of in the same mindset, like we're here, we're gonna have a good game and this is how this is gonna go. And I think that tends to translate to the behaviour on the field as well. And like if someone accidentally doesn't feel a hit, just shoot them again. Like and it's not a big deal. And it all, like you saw as well, like when you've got a private group, you kind of like even from Urban's perspective, they were just like, yeah, we're here for safety. You guys do what you want, you know. And like we got one guy in our group especially that just does that all the time. He's just like, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and everyone else is like, yeah, that works. Let's do that, you know. And we end up having like a fucking hell of a time with it. So I think the atmosphere and the player attitude going onto the field is very different because then I've gone and then the next game that I played was against a bunch of guys that I knew. But I haven't spent a great deal of time playing against them. And it's funny because I used to get complaints about them all the time. Get complaints about everybody, by the way. So
as refs, you get complaint. Like if you're the guy complaining, chances are someone's already complained about you as well.
Guarantee it.
I'll just put this out because we had a banger of a weekend last weekend about it. Guys, if people don't call their hits, it's not a RapidVantage problem. It's a gel sport problem. It happens in airsoft as well. And there's no need for aggression or taking it to heart, you know. There's a whole other side of the field with whole new players on that you can go and hit. You know what I mean? I just thought I'd put that out there because it is something that I see a lot.
It's fun to mix it up too because like I was saying, when you get the same old, you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, you're insane. Like that's apparently the definition of insanity. So like, you know, if you keep going to the same corner and you keep getting shot by the same dude, maybe try a different corner. Like And I find that's fun too. When you start getting bored and you start burning out on that idea and it starts to piss you off, go go try a different
Yeah,
tactic, go try a
absolutely.
different route, and you'll actually continue to enjoy the game. Like, keep
Yeah.
it fresh, keep it moving, and just don't sit and do the same thing over and over again. You know, it's not a computer game where you're stuck at a checkpoint and you have to do that
Exactly.
particular thing to get to the next level. Like, just go around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying you played this game with these guys that you...
Yeah. So, like, we just take control of the field, do what we want to do, and yeah. So, the other guys, yeah, and we found that it turned into somewhat of a rivalry, and it started to get like things started to get said, like just little quips and stuff like that. But I felt that it was just. I was like, this is unnecessary. And as much like I know that other people were enjoying it, but I think the attitude of players can make or break the game.
Yes.
And if you play with players that are like, they have it in their mindset, we have to beat that team.
Yeah.
They fuck it for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, they will do anything to beat that team.
Anything.
Yeah, absolutely anything to beat that team. And it's,
Yeah. Is there for you, what's the way to put this? Yeah. Out of all of the players that you know of currently, is there one person that you would love to have a little healthy rivalry, a little one-on-one, just a good old shootout between you and another player? Is there anyone you can think of that, perhaps maybe we can make it happen here for a little live stream or something like that?
I actually, you know what? I got destroyed in Trouble in Terrorist Town by Dally Dog. Actually, everyone got destroyed by Dally Dog that day. I would love to 1v1 Dally Dog through here. Probably kick my ass, but it would be hella good for content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because this is something I want to get out through the podcast. Is every new guest, I want to do a call out to a player that they would love to verse. Not even have a rivalry.
Oh, no, it's not even a rivalry.
Just a
I think,
verse.
Benny's a great guy.
Yeah. He's
enjoy
coming down this weekend. Yeah. Tonight. I think he's coming down tonight. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Might have to try and...
Tonight for Legendary Night.
Oh, my blaster's in the shop. Son of a bitch. I dropped it off yesterday. I'm like, probably shouldn't do this because I might need it before it gets back to me. And then I'm like, and then I left. I'm like, yeah, I need it before it gets back. But
we got blasters here.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
But yeah, all right. So you've Dally Dog.
I reckon that'd be a good match.
I think that'd be great.
A little 1v1.
What I was thinking about is doing 1v1 matches in here.
Yep.
But basically, as soon as you hit both back to spawn, it's a point. First to 5, boom, switch sides. Kind of like a tennis match.
You could live stream that shit too.
Yeah,
like
it'd
that
be
would
sweet.
be yeah. That's actually a great idea. Like the 1v1 series. That's a really good idea, man. Yeah.
And this is what I love. Being in the background my background for anyone who's listening or doesn't know, I've 6 years in the film industry. Yep. I have my own production company based in Shanghai and Milan. So I've been in video production for a long time. And content creation. Yep. But getting into this sport and with content creators in this sport, there are 1,001 ways to make content.
Yeah.
And I love the ideas that spring about like we just had there. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, that would actually make great content.
Yeah.
And I think, there is this, I've had a lot of people come into the shop actually. And, you know Kam, blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah.
You know this person, or you know this person, I'd love to do something with it, but they're already their celebrity state.
Oh, I hate that fucking word.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I know all these content creators too, and I think we're open to creating with the community.
And that's just it. Like, if anyone wants to get involved, like if people want to do stuff, like, chances are you've got me on Facebook. Flick me a message.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like racking my brain for content, and I'm like, what can I do? I've been fortunate recently that I've just had so much content that it's been backed up, so I've been able to release it. I still have footage that I need to go through for a Glock review.
Yep.
I love Glocks, so I'm a perfectionist.
Yes.
And I want this review right, but the way that I wanted to do it didn't actually work out that way. So now I have to go back through and cut out all the stuff that I wanted to do that I can't now do. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just going to take me forever to do it.
Yeah.
But there's some days where I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm going to do for content. Like, if you have an idea and you're like, hey man, let's do some content, hit me up. Like, I've got one dude who hit me up. I still need to get out there and do it with him, but he wants to get together and do like a loadout video with me and get some gameplay footage with me up at Urban. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Let's do it. And he's like, oh, only if you got the time. I'm like, bro, I'll do it. Like, let's fucking do it. That's a great idea.
I think that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be, and that's the whole reason for this podcast is a player-to-player thing. But you don't have to be a retailer. You don't have to be someone with a brand.
No.
Like, you know, like approach people like Cam who are creating content for the community and get involved. And you know, chances are they'll say yes. If they say no, it's probably because they got other stuff on. But they won't say no because, and I'm speaking because I know a lot of other creators, content creators in the GELSoft. You know, they won't say no because, you know, they think they're so much better than you. They're probably genuinely busy on other content. But I think the content creation side, and you see it in Airsoft.
Yep.
Like, content creation in the Airsoft world is huge.
But there's never enough of it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
As a content consumer, there's never enough. So
Yeah.
if you want to make content for the consumer wants more content. It's not
Absolutely.
like so. Yeah, it's which is why I love what you guys do with Urban, because I'm all for growing the community of GELBALL. Like, I'm like, let's reach out, let's bring more people in, let's make it attractive to people so that they want to come in and play it. Let's grow the market for everyone. Let's
Yes.
not do what everyone else is doing and like throw up walls and be like, we're keeping our customers and you keep your customers over there. Like, no, let's grow the industry so everyone can get a piece of it. And you know, like, and even when one of the big things that Donnybrook has is that, like, when people would talk about other fields and they try and go all quiet, and David especially, which is really surprising because a lot of retailers like, nah, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. He'd go play everywhere, go find what you like. And so I kind of adopted that attitude from him, and you know, go everywhere, try everything, try everyone, because you may not like what we offer, you may like what that person over there offers, and that's okay, because
I cannot stress that enough. Like, my scale of 1 to 10 of how much I agree with this statement is like 25 at least. You know what I mean? Because that's true. There are so many players in this industry. There are so many fields. Go out and find what you like. Yeah. And like, I would say even like the reason that we align with Urban GELBALL so much is in terms of similarities between fields, in terms of gameplay and the field design, we are probably the most similar in terms of other indoor fields. We really mimic CQB, close quarter battle, right? And that term CQB, CQC gets thrown around a lot, meaning, but it's close quarters combat. Well, from my understanding and from my experience in playing, CQB is based off go into a house, raid a house, get people out, the combat that happens inside that house. How often in a house are you going to see a hole in the wall? Or are you going to see, you know, that's, so what we do here in an Urban, we try and mimic, like, our walls are higher, you know, you're based in these, you're put in these tight areas compared to other fields like hardcore. Like, I big love to hardcore. That was the first indoor field that I was playing at. And Toby and Kathy out there at hardcore, I love the way that they run their field. But that field for me, I would class as an indoor field because they mix very well the close quarter aspect, you know, around the side. I don't know what their new layout is, so don't quote me on this.
I played out there recently, and it's so tight around the outside.
Tight around the outside and then open on the inside, right? So I wouldn't call that CQB, I'd call that indoor. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But what I love that field has a mix of you can have that element. Like, for me, every time I played, I would stick to the outside because I love the CQB. But then you have this whole other realm of players that are sitting in the middle because they love the open gameplay.
And if you get bored with one, go to the other.
Go to the other, exactly. And that's the good thing about about hardcore is it's a nice meld of both game styles.
I think hardcore is a really good name for it too, because that place is so fast. Like, the gameplay is so 100%. Fast.
And that's I think really due to their middle area. Yeah. Because like people, you think, indoors, you've got this big open space, it's going to be so hard to get through. But people zip through and they've got the cars there, So I think, I really love that style of gameplay as well. And what you said, try out what you like. You might not like. Especially in here, what we do is as a milsim CQB field is we run scenario-based gameplays. we've got the it's a simulation, not a sport.
It's not a sport; it's a simulation.
We've got the simulation aspect,
Yep.
the fog, the sound machine, all that kind of stuff. You might like indoor skirmish, but you may not like the CQB element. So go and try everywhere. Get everything that you can get the experience as a player, and find what you like. And that's the big thing. I think that what we're trying to push here with other fields. We have a very good relationship with Milsim in the village Milsim in the East Village. Yep. Milsim in the East Village. Milsim East in the Village. Milsim East in the Village with Tractor. I'm sure everyone's watched the other podcasts.
That field. I've already played there once. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it was us. We played. Yeah. We played. I totally forgot about that.
That day that I fucking scorpion.
Yeah. So I love that field, and Trav has a really good personality as a field owner as well, and he's supported us here. Then we go all the way out to Toowoomba Skirmish HQ with Jason, and his it's well. Are you coming to the next Milsim? Are you still rolling with us?
I
am.
Am.
You are?
I've had a few invites, but like the PMC thing, you mean I can do what I want and fuck with people and take their coins for it? I'll do it.
Yeah. So how good is this, right? Is Jason, who's owner or who's operating Toowoomba Skirmish HQ, is taking that weekend off Toowoomba Skirmish HQ to come and play in our crew to support Tractor and Eastern Predator as a Milsim.
And that's meant, we're a community. Let's act like it.
Exactly.
It's not like it's a closed market and there's no one else coming in. Support other people. Grow the sport, because if you grow the sport, you grow your own customer base, and people appreciate honesty too.
Yeah.
I've recently taken a couple of shifts with a retailer, and people come in, and I don't bullshit them to try and get their money, to try and get sales. I'm sure the boss might disagree with me on that, but I don't think he would, because he's actually made review videos of stuff that he's bought, and he's gone, I'm really disappointed in this. It's a piece of shit. I've just wasted all this money because now I don't want you to buy this from me.
Yep.
If you want to buy this because it looks cool, go for it. If you want to buy something for performance, get something else.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that honesty that he has around that. And, the customer does appreciate that stuff.
100%.
If people want to come in and talk for half an hour and ask questions about the game, I'm more than happy to oblige. I'm getting paid to stand here anyway, bro. I may as well be talking about something that I enjoy.
Absolutely.
Whether you spend money or not doesn't matter, because if you go out of that, if you leave the store thinking, wow, that guy really took the time with me, he gave me advice, I'm new, he didn't treat me like an idiot.
Yes.
He even advised that I try other shops because they have products that differ from what they have. They appreciate the honesty, and they'll come back.
Absolutely.
And you're growing long-term customers here. You don't have to just worry about just get the sale and then who cares?
Yeah.
You've got the sale. It doesn't matter. That's, that's not, for some people that might be smart business, but to me it just seems crazy.
Yeah. I think what's funny, your comment, you say, "Oh, well, I may as well be, here talking about something that I love."
Yeah.
It's I think our relationship together. I briefly met you and Rob last year, right? It was before I was going to Colombia, and I'd seen you guys because I was playing at Donnybrook almost every weekend.
Because you came out with Lukey with a camera one week, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was out there, and then I was seeing you, and I was seeing Rob and reffing and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of understand operating this field, what you were going through mentally, with that dealing with that amount of players, and it was it did seem like GelSoft as a sport was kind of you were oh, you know what I mean?
I love it, but I hate it. I love to hate it. I hate to love it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But then, over the past 3 months, 4 months, I've been getting to know you. Work your passion seems to have come back up there, and you're back into it, which is really cool to see. And that's I mean, this industry needs personalities like you. Yeah, and it's really cool to see that is kind of come back up for you. And
it really has. Well, I think when you're in charge of that many people at a time, there's a lot of stuff to be in consideration of, which is like what you were just saying, it's all going through your head, the safety, you know, and especially out in that open space is, has everyone come back from the game, just making sure. And there's never been an incident where someone's really badly injured themselves and no one's noticed that they haven't come back. There was two teenage girls who were hiding because they thought the game was still on, and we had to go out and we went out and did a full search party looking for these girls, and they were just oh, we were just still playing the game. Like, we were just hiding because we thought that the game was still going. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Grateful that that's all it was.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
there's never been a bad incident, but at the end of the day, like in the back of your head, you still have to have that consideration for the safety of the players. Like you're not just responsible for the amount of fun that everyone has, you're also responsible for their safety.
Yes.
Is everyone treating each other accordingly? You know, there's a lot of other considerations for you to take into play that the customer or the player may not realize
Yes.
that you have to. You're
Have to
doing
deal
mental
with.
processes, you know, and then you get kids who will be kids and they come up and they just want to ask heaps of questions and you're like, oh bro, can you just like come back and ask me that in 5 minutes while I make sure that everyone's like, you know, still alive?
Yes.
Which I know
Yes.
I know it sounds really over exaggerated, but like those are the concerns that you have to have, you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
you know,
Definitely.
so yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think that's all we've got time for. Almost gone for an hour.
Yeah,
So
wow.
that was good. But yeah, man, I'd like to, you know, definitely want to encourage you to, you know, keep doing what you're doing because I'm watching and I'm loving the content and definitely encouraging everyone else who's, if you're not watching, get on and see what Cam's doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing as well what other characters that come out of what you do and all that kind of stuff.
The community have already named him Speedy Boy.
All right, I'd
Yeah.
love to see Speedy
Yeah.
Boy.
Speedy Boy, he's coming.
Yeah, I'd love to see him down here at the field as well. But
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
yeah, man, thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you did like listening to the podcast or the video, definitely like and subscribe. We'll link Cam's deets into there and like and subscribe here for us. And stay tuned for some more podcasts coming out as well.